breath she could will away the detritus of the previous day. While Peri questioned the world without fail, and was not one to keep silent in the face of injustice, she had resolved some years ago to be content with what she had. It would therefore come as a surprise when, on a middling kind of day, at the age of 35, established and respected, she found herself staring at the void in her soul. It was all because of the traffic, she would later reassure herself. Rumbling, roaring, metal clanking against metal like the cries of 1,000 warriors. The entire city was one giant construction site. Istanbul had grown uncontrollably and kept on expanding, a bloated goldfish, unaware of having gobbled more than it could digest, still searching around for more to eat. Looking back on that fateful afternoon, Peri would conclude that had it not been for the hopeless gridlock, the chain of events that awakened a long-dormant part of her memory would never have been set in motion. There they were, inching along a 2-lane road half blocked by an overturned lorry, trapped among vehicles of all sizes. Peri's fingers tapped on the steering wheel, switching radio channels every few minutes, while her daughter, earphones in, sat with a bored expression in the passenger seat. Like a magic wand in the wrong hands, the traffic turned minutes into hours, humans into brutes, and any trace of sanity into sheer lunacy. Istanbul didn't seem to mind. Time, brutes, and lunacy it had aplenty. 1 hour more, 1 hour less, 1 brute more, 1 lunatic less. Past a certain point, it made no difference. Madness coursed through this city's streets, like an intoxicating drug in the bloodstream. Every day, millions of Istanbulites downed another dose, not realizing that they were becoming more and more unbalanced. People who would refuse to share their bread shared their insanity instead. There was something inscrutable about the collective loss of reason. If enough eyes experienced the same hallucination, it turned into a truth. If enough people laughed at the same misery, it became a funny little joke. "Oh, stop picking at your nails," Peri said all of a sudden. "How many times do I have to tell you?" Slowly, very slowly, Denise pulled her earphones down around her neck. "They are my nails," she said, and took a sip from the paper cup placed between them. Before setting out on the road, they had stopped at a Star Börek, a Turkish coffee chain that had been repeatedly sued by Starbucks for using their logo, their menu, and a distorted version of their name, but was still, because of legal loopholes, in business, and bought 2 drinks, a skinny latte for Peri, a double chocolatey chip creme frappuccino for her daughter. Peri had finished hers, but Denise was taking forever, sipping gingerly like an injured bird. Outside, the sun was melting into the horizon, the last rays painting the roofs of shanty homes, the domes of the mosques and the windows of skyscrapers in the same dull shade of rust. "And this is my car," Peri said under her breath. "You are dropping skin flakes on the floor." As soon as the words escaped her mouth, she regretted them. My car. What a terrible thing to say to one's child, or to anyone for that matter. Had she become one of those materialistic fools whose entire sense of self and place lay in the possessions she owned? She hoped not. Her daughter did not seem taken aback. Instead, Denise shrugged her bony shoulders, glanced outside, and furiously moved on to the next fingernail. The car lurched forward, only to stop again, with its tyres screeching. It was a Range Rover, in a shade named Monte Carlo Blue, according to the dealer's catalogue. There were other colour options in the brochure: Davos White, Oriental Dragon Red, Saudi Desert Pink, Ghana Police Gloss Blue, or Indonesian Army Matte Green. Peri imagined with pursed lips and a shake of the head the frivolous marketing types who invented these names, and wondered whether drivers were aware that the sleek and swanky cars in which they flaunted themselves were associated with the police or the military or sandstorms in the Arabian Peninsula. Whatever their colour, Istanbul teemed with deluxe vehicles, many of which looked out of place, like high-born pedigree dogs that, though destined for lives of comfort and ease, had somehow lost their way and wandered into the wilderness. There were racing convertibles that roared with the frustration of having nowhere to gather speed, off-roaders that, even with the deftest of manoeuvres, could not be wedged into the diminutive parking spaces, if by chance any were available, and pricey sedans designed for wide-open roads that existed only in faraway lands and TV commercials. "I read it's been ranked the worst in the world," Peri said. "What?" "The traffic. We are number 1. Worse than Cairo. Imagine. Even worse than Delhi." Not that she had ever been to Cairo or Delhi, but like many Istanbulites, Peri held a firm belief that her city was more civilized.